Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Megan, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing my first reading vlog of the month. So I'm going to be reading It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Alright guys, so I've got my comfy sweatshirt on, grabbed my book, and I got a water too, so we're ready to go. I'm about to start reading. I'm so excited, you guys. This is about to be so good. I just came off of reading Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, so I'm obsessed with her writing and I'm so excited. So let's get started. Also, I got some snacks. My mom brought me some candy, so we're gonna stay up with the sugar high. Okay guys, so first update. So currently on page 20, our main character Lily just went to the roof of a building that she doesn't live in to like sit and thank because she buried her dad today. So like she was giving the eulogy and it just like did not go well. Like she basically like did the anti-eulogy for her dad and her mom's like really mad at her. So she is on the roof and this guy that she doesn't know, because obviously she doesn't live in the building, shows up on the roof and starts like smoking a blunt and doesn't know that she's there. And then he realizes that she's there and they like start talking about naked truths and like things that they're like guilty of and like should feel bad about, but they don't really feel bad about it, or like different things that have happened that are like messed up. And he just asked, or she just asked him like, what's one thing that hang on, it says, what's the most recent thought you've had that most people wouldn't say out loud? And he literally just said that he wants to fuck her. We're on page 20. And I was like, excuse me, this man really, bold. So he's like a neurosurgeon and all this stuff, and she like thinks he's really hot. So we already know that that's about to go down, but she's like, I'm not into one night stands, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I just thought I'd update you guys because I was like real shocked that that happened like right now. So yeah, gonna keep reading. It's like 9:30 and we're 20 pages in, almost finished with the first chapter. This man is like really straightforward right now. He's like completely propositioning her, like pulling her chair towards him. This is insane. Also, I'm chewing gum, so if I sound weird, that's why. But this is only page 24, and it's crazy already. So like, this is about to get wild. But he's like asking her like what she's willing to do, and she like told the story about the guy that she did it with the first time, like this homeless guy named Atlas, and I'm pretty sure he's like in the story more later. Based off the back, it's like her first love like comes in later, and I'm pretty sure that's him. So we've heard about him a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, but this is already getting a little intense. Okay guys, so it's the next morning now. I honestly fell asleep after reading like the first chapter last night. I was just super tired, but I'm gonna read a little bit before my class this morning. It starts at 10 and then I work 1 to 7. So most of my reading for today is going to be done when I get home, but I'm going to start with a little bit this morning just before class. So let's get going. Okay, so she's reading these letters about how she met her first love named Atlas, and she got them from like her parents' house after her dad died, and it's all like the very beginning of when they met. So I'm assuming we're gonna like see more of it as the story goes, but basically she's talking about how he was like homeless and living in the house behind hers that was like condemned because the woman died and like owed a bunch of money on it. And so she helped him and like gave him food and let him shower in her house and stuff, and then they were like talking, and that's pretty much where I'm at. But it looks like it's gonna be like really cute, them like getting to know each other and everything. So I'll let you know what keeps happening. Okay, so it's like 6 months after her dad died now, and she just bought this like old restaurant that was closed, and she's gonna turn it into like a flower shop, which is kind of funny because her name is the Lily Bloom, so like she thinks it's a little weird. But anyways, she's like trying to clean it up and make it look better because it's like really old and dusty, and this girl named Melissa walks in and it's like this really rich girl. Like, you can tell she has like an Hermes bag and is like dressed really nice. And she's like, oh, I just want to like come help because I'm like a Pinterest whore. That's literally what she says. And she wants to work for free. And Lily's like, no, but I can pay you like $10 an hour. And now they're like cleaning it up and like coming up with ideas to use for the furniture. And she's talking about how she thinks Alyssa's gonna like be her new best friend and all this other stuff. So I felt like I should update you guys because I feel like she's gonna be a pretty important character. But I'm still only on chapter 2, so I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so we just found out that Ryle and Alyssa are siblings, and Lily found this out because she like twisted her ankle when they were trying to move stuff in her like new florist shop, and Alyssa called her brother to come help because he's a doctor, and it turns out to be Ryle, and they start talking again, and now she's gonna be stuck in her apartment for like a week because she has to let her ankle rest. So now she's reading more of her journals about Atlas, and I'm about to start reading that part, so I'll update you guys when I get more information. But yeah. This man really just showed up at her house and begged her for a one-night stand, and then she goes to take a shower because she like been working all day, and she comes out and he's asleep. So you know what she does? She takes a picture of herself with like her little outfit on next to him while he's sleeping. This man. Oh Lord, this is so funny. Alright guys, so it's the next day now since I've seen you guys, and I haven't done a lot of reading since then. I've just been pretty busy. I had like a lot of cleaning and stuff to do when I got home, but I am about to sit down and read a lot of this book. So we're like that much in, and I would like to get at least to the halfway mark tonight, if not further. So we got a lot of reading to do. So buckle in, here we go. Why does he have a picture of her in his apartment that like you can only tell is her if you know that it's her? It's like super blurry and like blown up, but he has pictures of her in his apartment. He's buying her flowers from her own flower store, but he just wants to sleep with her? I'm confused. And he's also mad that she brought a date to Alyssa's party. Like, I'm as confused as she is, so. He like wants things with her now. I'm really confused, but he's like acting really cute. This is my brain. Oh my gosh. You guys, I hate Lily's dad. I know he's dead in present day, but in her journals, he's such an abusive asshole. I just can't. Like, he literally just threw his 15-year-old kid on the floor, and he was choking his wife out. Like, she couldn't breathe, and Lily was like trying to help her mom, and he literally just flung her on the floor, and she like cut her head open and had to go get stitches. Like, he's such a dick. I'm so mad. They just did it for the first time. I can't. Y'all, plot twist. Lily just took Ryle to dinner to meet her mom. And guess who's the waiter? The homeless boy that she slept with when she was like 15, 16. And yeah, now he's back in her life. She hasn't seen him since then. And I'm just like, it's getting a little intense. And I'm probably going to be up late reading this because now I just can't stop. Alice and Lily were so cute when they were younger, like in these journals. Lily keeps like sticking up for him with Katie on the bus for like saying mean things about him and stuff. And it's just so freaking cute. She like takes care of him when he's sick and all this stuff. Makes my heart happy. I can't. So earlier in the book, you find out that Lily has like a little heart-shaped tattoo that has like a space at the top, and like she explains the exact shape of it. And in one of her journals, she's talking about this like heart made out of wood that Atlas made for her, and it's the exact same shape as the tattoo that she has. So like you didn't know the meaning of it before, But now you do, and it's so cute. Now I'm really torn. I don't know which man I like better for her. This book is gonna make me cry later, I can already tell. Okay, so quick update. It's the next morning now, and basically what happened last night, I stayed up till like 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. reading, and got through quite a bit of the book. I'm now like halfway through. I'm on page 171. And what happened towards the end of reading last night is we found out that her best friend Alyssa is now pregnant, and they were out at the bar with like the onesies on, and like she couldn't drink alcohol obviously because she was pregnant, and her husband got all excited. It was really cute, and Ryle's gonna be a uncle. And also I'm still kind of debating between if I want her to be with Ryle still, or if I like want her to rekindle with Atlas. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I have class later, my summer class, but I'm gonna read until then, and then I'll be reading later this evening when I get home from work. I'm gonna hopefully finish the book today or tomorrow. I've got that much left to go, and I've been highlighting it so that I can write the quotes in my book journal and everything like that. But I'm gonna get back to reading because I'm excited to see what happens next. Okay, so something really, really intense just happened, and it's like bad. She invited Ryle over to their house to like have dinner and, you know, sleep over and stuff, and they burnt the food, and then Ryle tried to pull it out. They'd been drinking wine, and he didn't use a pot holder or anything, and he burned his hand, and then he like pushed her, and she hit her head on the corner of a cabinet, and so she's like bleeding and freaking out a little bit because he's reminding her a lot of her dad, where he was abusive of her mom, and she's just like freaking out. And then she pushes him away, and he falls into glass on his hands, and then they're like talking, and she's just like, he can't be like my dad, like he's not like him, but she's still like really doubtful. And I'm not fully finished with the situation, so I don't know exactly how it resolves, but I wanted to update you guys because this is a lot happening all at once, and it's making me nervous because I don't think she's gonna view him the same way anymore. Even though she's like, he's not like my dad, it's going to linger in her head, and I'm like, no, don't do that. So hopefully they can resolve it, but I feel like this is not a good omen for their relationship. You guys, she forgave Ryle, but now they're at the restaurant that Atlas works at, and she finds out that he literally owns the place, and he sees that she has this cut on her eye, and that Ryle's hand is like bandaged up and stuff, and he's confronting her in the bathroom. And I haven't read past there, but I'm freaking out because I know he's like pissed off and is gonna want her to leave Ryle and like want to take care of her and stuff, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm stressed. Oh my god. But yeah, anyways, side note, more positive, Atlas is a freaking owner of a restaurant now, so that's good. Alright, so the book is split up into two parts, and I just finished the entire first part, and basically what happened at the end, where I told you guys that I had left off, was Ryle and Atlas were like at the same restaurant, and she was talking to Atlas and stuff, and hang on. And then Ryle sees them in the bathroom together and like is assuming really bad stuff is happening, and then they get into like a fist fight in the restaurant, and Ryle gets thrown out, and then he's like really mad at Lily, and they have to have like a talk about him and stuff. And then Atlas shows up at her work the next day with a gift, and it's this book that he got signed by Ellen. It's an Ellen book like 3 years ago, and he gave it to her because they used to watch it together, and he knows that she like really liked that. And then she went home and read more of her diaries, and like you find out everything that happened to Atlas and her, and like why they don't talk anymore, and what her dad did to him, and it just like hurts my heart. And you also see her relate the magnet on the fridge and the tattoo that she has, which I kind of noticed earlier had similarities, but it's like confirmed now. But anyways, I'm on the second part now, and I'm going to see what happens, but I don't even know what I want to happen. Like, I'm really confused. I kind of want her to like at least talk to Atlas more and like see how his life is, but then I know that's gonna make Ryle mad. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh my god, so much shit is happening. They got married in Vegas like 6 weeks ago, and it jumped 6 weeks to current, and they get into this fight because, well, it's not even really a fight, but Ryle finds the piece of paper that Atlas put his phone number on in Lily's phone case, and he's pissed off, and he starts going down the hallway to their apartment, and Lily's chasing after him, and like they meet up at the stairs, and she like tries to grab him, and he pushes her off of him, and she falls down the freaking steps because he pushed her down the stairs. And then he's bandaging her up like 5 minutes later when she comes back to consciousness, and he's saying that she just fell. And then he says, right after, I found out what a fucking liar I married, because he doesn't ever let her explain anything. And then he gives her back the phone number and is like, I'm sure if you need anything you can just call this phone number. And she's like, my entire world came crashing down, and I feel so freaking bad for her. This is really sad, but like this is twice that he's like hurt her, and I feel like it's kind of a red flag and she needs to get out of there. This is really depressing, and a lot is happening like all at once. Like all this stuff happened in like 6 pages. She just kicked him out of the apartment. So like good for her. This is also really sad. He like doesn't understand that he did something wrong, and that's so ridiculous. And now she's just crying on her bed. Oh my god. This is one of the saddest parts of a book that I've ever read. At the beginning of the book, Ryle talked about a naked truth where he had to like try to save this boy whose brother shot him with a gun because he was a little bitty and they didn't know. And now you find out that that literally happened to Ryle and his older brother. And Ryle's had like problems since then with like anger issues and stuff. And it's just really, really sad to see how much this grown man is crying and upset with what he did to his wife. I just can't. I don't understand. But I think they're going to reconcile and like try to work through things. But I just got through the part of them talking about it. I'm trying not to cry. Hi. This is my reading buddy for today. Oh, hello. Alright, so it's the next morning and I'm back reading again, and this whole abuse thing is starting to be a pattern for them, but Lily's like tolerating it because of Ryle's past and he has like these anger issues and stuff, but I'm getting a little intolerable of him doing things to her, and she just like brushes it off. But I'm on page 267, so I've got about 100 pages to go. And I'm hoping that this has a positive ending, because right now it's really making me sad for her, because she said that she would never do something like that, like stay with a man who hurts her like her mom did, and that seems what she's doing right now. So hopefully she fixes it or leaves him or something. Okay, she's getting out. I feel good. Atlas is coming to pick her up. She's good to go. They're gonna leave, and hopefully she never goes back to him. I feel bad for the guy because he's gone through trauma, but like that's unacceptable, so stressing me out, I'll tell you that. Oh my fucking god, she's pregnant. It's great. As if her situation couldn't get any worse. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days since I finished the book, and honestly I didn't really vlog like the last 70 or so pages, maybe 60, because it got really intense and I really just wanted to process it. But I'm basically just going to sum it up and then we'll chat about it at the end. Basically, Lily went to Atlas's place. I'm pretty sure I vlogged when that happened. Eventually she went back home. Ryle was in, I think, London or somewhere in Europe studying for his medical stuff. He was in like a program there, so she was able to like be by herself for a while. And when she finally decided to tell Alyssa what happened. Alyssa was very supportive of her, like basically saying like as Raul's sister she wants him, like her to stay with him, but as her friend, like she can't tell her that that's the right thing to do. Like that's a really bad decision for her personally. So I really appreciated like seeing both perspectives from Alyssa's character, being like, as Ryle's sister I want this, but like as your friend I can't say that you should ever go back to him, which was really nice. And then when Ryle came back from Europe, he goes and sees her and Lily has her baby bump and he doesn't know she's pregnant. He's like really shocked and everything, and they basically get into like a talk, and then I'm pretty sure they end up fighting about it, but like he's not really fighting with her, he's just like pleading for forgiveness because of everything he did to her, and she basically just like can't process it, doesn't want to talk to him about it yet. And so that kind of continues throughout the pregnancy. She eventually is like opening back up to him, like when she's trying to do the nursery, when she's like heavily pregnant, he comes and helps her, and it seems like they might actually end up getting back together based on how she's thinking. But then her daughter is born and she decides that she can't let her daughter see her be in a situation where she gets abused by her husband, because she's gonna think that that's okay. And so that's where the like title comes from, It Ends With Us, because she's telling her daughter that it ends with them, like that's not going to happen. And as much as she loves Ryle and she knows that he's going to be a good dad, she doesn't want their daughter to see that as like the example of what's okay. So I'm really glad that they showed, well, that she, the author, showed a perspective of an abusive relationship where the abuser is not necessarily like an asshole the whole time. Like he's actually a really nice person, except for when he does all these bad things, and that shows kind of the turmoil that abused women often go through, because it's not always the alcoholic, abusive, like mean person all the time that is the abuser, and that's often very difficult for somebody to see the person that they love 95% of the time be great to them, and then 5% of the time be like their biggest fear. So seeing that perspective was great. So seeing her have that conversation with Ryle of like, you don't want your daughter to have the experiences that we've had, and if she did, you would tell her to leave him. And so he was able to kind of understand it, as much as it hurt him to not be able to reunite with Lily. He knows that that's the best decision for both of them too. And then it jumps forward, I think like a year or so, and she's taking her daughter to see Ryle and Alyssa, and she runs into Atlas on the street, and Atlas realizes that they're not together anymore, and she continues on to take her daughter to Ryle, but then after she drops her off, she like runs and chases him down the sidewalk, and like they have their little conversation, and basically Lily's like, I'm ready now. Atlas is like, my life is good enough for you now, and they end up getting together. And that's pretty much where the book ends. I really would have liked to see Atlas and Lily be happy for a little bit, but that doesn't really happen at the end. Like you just see them get together and then it kind of ends. So it would be awesome to see, you know, have like a chapter or something of them happy together, just because you see Lily go through so much. I just wanted to experience her being happy as well. But that's not really what happens in the end of the book. I think this is a book that pretty much anyone needs to read, because it portrays this vision of an abusive relationship in a way that we don't often hear about. Like most of the time you see it as black and white, like this person is really bad, this woman needs to leave him, like why is she not leaving? And this kind of shows you that morally gray middle where you see both sides of the spectrum. Like you see why she needs to leave, but then you also see why she's staying, especially when it gets complicated with children in the mix, which I really appreciate seeing that. And I also think it's even more important that she did leave him, because she had a daughter and she needs to set a good example for her daughter so the cycle doesn't continue with her. But if you haven't read this book yet, I don't know why you watch this, because this is very spoilery, but I would highly suggest going and reading the book yourself, because it's something that has been very impactful for me, and I think that pretty much everyone should read this at least once in their life, because it just gives you such a insight into a situation that hopefully a lot of us don't ever have to experience, but too many people do, and being able to see what that is like is very eye-opening for a lot of people. So I think that that's super important. So if you know anyone who hasn't read it that you think should, or anyone, especially people who are like our age, younger, in like the teen and young adult age group, I feel like this is super, super important to read. That's pretty much my thoughts on the book, so I'm not gonna drag this on any longer, but I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and if you enjoy these types of videos, give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. It really helps me out and also lets me know what kind of content you guys enjoy. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.